if we can laugh together, we can cry together, then it's going to be okay. I hope. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Coping Out Loud Club podcast. I'm really excited to get this started, as well as equally terrified in case it's not any good. So, this is me being vulnerable doing this, but especially when I'm this unwell. So, please bear with me. But this is your little intro episode. I just have a little chat about body image. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've just always wanted to have a podcast and share about things that we don't talk about enough and interview interesting people and just have a space that people can come and feel less alone and less like it's just them experiencing whatever they're experiencing, because I can guarantee that if you experience it and feel it or have these challenges, somebody else will too. And so that's the point of the podcast. Yeah, so this first episode, I guess I was going to do it about loneliness because I've had quite a few messages from people to say, please, can you talk about loneliness? And as somebody who experiences a lot of loneliness, I was going to speak about that. But then through this whole experience of setting up this podcast right now and trying to record myself and do this, like I feel sort of shame admitting this because I'm someone who really tries to sort of stand against this shit. But basically, it's been my body image issues that's stopping me recording. It just feels sad because this whole time I've been trying to make a podcast and all I'm looking at is what I look like, not what I'm saying, not how I might make people feel. Like the focus this whole last half an hour has been on how I look. And I just don't like it. It feels really sad because, and I know I'm not alone, but it makes me feel so sad because it's societal and it's not, it's a load of bullshit. Like we're all beautiful, yet even someone like myself who's done a lot of work on body image issues, it's kind of slapped me around the face this morning. I didn't really expect to have a sort of hurdle to this podcast be my body image issues. Like I've done so much work on it through just life and yeah, not really therapy actually. I've not really ever shared much about it in therapy because of my shame and sort of wanting to sort this out myself, like wanting to sort out my body images myself. Like I shouldn't feel like this because obviously it's the patriarchy and capitalism. So I want to be that rebellious self and be like, fuck you, I love myself, because I really believe that self-love is a rebellious act. But like I also want to sort of validate and show that you can have that paradoxically, because I think in some ways we've come like a long way with body image and in other ways we have not. And for me, I think I've had so like, oh my God, just like my body has changed more times than I've changed my bed sheets. Like, yeah, I've done a lot of work on body issues through mostly like myself and sort of watching other people and just getting fed up with my own bullshit around my body and just like hitting a point where I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't hate my body as I was hating it. Like I hated myself in a way that kind of blows me away and breaks my heart at the same time. And I still have that, very much have that. Don't get me wrong, I'm 150% a work in progress, but the fact is that like I have come a long way, and that I really want to try and like acknowledge that I've come a long way, but I still have a long way to go. Basically, I just want to normalize that you can feel like both those things. Like you can struggle with your body image, but also be really like angry at capitalism and patriarchy for giving us this narrative in our brain about ourselves, because I really believe that that is hugely like part of it, and the culture that we live in. um and that's what makes me angry and sad, and that's what surprised me today trying to record this, is that like I was just a bit nervous that I wouldn't make sense, or that I'm boring, or that it's not going to be very good. And the first and the sort of main concern the whole time I've been trying to record something and set it up is what I look like. I mean, also, just to explain, I don't do anything about this. I'm not going to go and put on a load of makeup because I don't do makeup really. I really want to get into it, but like not, I just don't have the spoons. I've never been someone that wears makeup like more than sort of once a year. Also, haven't washed my hair for a week and a half because I've had a PICC line in my arm and it's the first day that it's been free and I still haven't had the spoons to have a bath. So I'm just just giving you the disclaimer that I'm pretty minging right now. And so I can have these body image issues, but still, I don't have the spoons to do anything about it. I'm not going to get up and change my outfit into something more flattering, in inverted commas. Let's get started on that. I hate the word flattering. It really pisses me off, as though we're all aiming for like a smaller body, flatter, to look smaller. And I'm like, I love people that just wear what they want to wear, whatever it makes them look like, because I believe like the most beautiful people are like, if we're talking about what they look like, are people who feel comfortable in themselves, people who wear what they feel comfortable and sort of shine in, not what they think they should look like. And also, obviously, I'm talking all external beauty. One of my favourite quotes actually is, I'm going to find it, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. I'm not sure I'm saying that correctly, I'm afraid. But it's one of my favourite quotes and poems. And I think more people should know this because I'm talking unusually about, like, I don't normally talk about this shit, but I'm talking about beauty from sort of like external. And I just want to like acknowledge that beauty is obviously inside us the most. The most beautiful people we have known are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, known loss, and have found their way out of the depths. These persons have an appreciation, a sensitivity, and an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep loving concern. Beautiful people do not just happen. I love that because I'm here chatting all shit about what I look like, and actually, it doesn't fucking matter. And I like also simultaneously want to acknowledge it does matter, of course, how we feel about ourselves. But for me, that's come so much from not what I look like externally and like how I feel internally and like about my external self, if that makes any sense. So like I put a lot of weight on after my hysterectomy in 2021. And I'd previously lost a lot of weight because I was incredibly unwell. Then I put on a lot of weight. And I mean a lot, like I don't recognize myself and I'm still figuring that out. But it's kind of like challenged me to have to just like fucking face this shit, like face these demons that I've had in my head all these years. Also, the lack of estrogen has helped because I don't know if you know, but estrogen is a people-pleasing hormone, and it's just really quite a satisfying positive side effect of a hysterectomy, like oophorectomy, as in the removal of my ovaries, because being in surgical menopause just means I've just literally like I don't have enough estrogen to give a fuck, which is really handy because it means I've been able to like embrace my body and embrace who I am and my beauty away from what I look like. And you would never guess that I'm someone with these issues because the way I've lived my life is I'm not I'm not actually that open about it, I think, because I want to give across that I'm confident, that I love myself, because that's what I want to be like. But I can't deny that I've like lived with eating disorders basically my whole life. I have really struggled, more than I can even delve into right now, because I feel like this is just sort of the beginning of this, and I'll share more of my story as time goes on. I really want to bridge the gap between like how I portray myself and how we all portray ourselves and what actually goes on inside, because I just mask so much and I cover up like my real true sort of internal workings, and in other ways I like completely don't, and I'm an open book. But I mean these kind of things, that I'm really ashamed of. I don't talk about enough. And I wish I didn't have shame for having body image issues, because every single person I know basically has them in some sort of way. Sorry, I'm new to this microphone business. But I just wanted to like say that if it's getting in the way of you doing something like a podcast recording, like it has done for me this morning, and then I just decided to try and override that by talking about it. But I still don't like what I see. All I can see is my chin. All I can see is my belly. All I can see is blah, 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 blah. I can't see the radiant smile I have. I hate saying that shit about myself, but let's try. I try to like think, to look at myself how a friend would see me. Obviously, we would never say any of this shit to our friends. And if I had any friends that thought this shit about me, I don't want to be their friend, you know, but then we do this to ourselves. And I have this thing where if my friend says something like negative about herself, I say, don't talk about my friend like that. And I've sort of like wanted to bring that into my own like inner dialogue. As it sort of like makes me repulse at the same time. It, like, part of me is like repulsed at the idea of loving myself, yet another part of me has tried for decades to cultivate this love for myself. And I think it's okay to have both. Like, it's okay. I mean, it's not as shit, it's really hard, but it's normal and human. Oh, I hate that word, normal. It's very human. And I think people, especially like in the kind of influencing world, like it can feel like you have to be solely confident, or you like have to only love your body or only love yourself. And I think actually, let's get real. Like, it's a really hard thing, and that needs to be like acknowledged. And it's okay. It's not your fault if you can't just love yourself. Like, I've been working at it for decades. I mean, I've had a lot of trauma that's sort of, you know, the opposite of loving myself. I've experienced a lot of abuse and trauma. So that definitely impacts my sort of ability to appreciate myself, and see myself like how others see me. It's something I'm constantly working on. It's exhausting, if I'm honest, but I've lost track. Fuck. This was another element of worry that I had around doing this podcast, was forgetting things in the middle of talking about them. And like, because I do that on a daily basis when I'm talking to my friends, and I know I can edit and I know I can stop and listen back and stuff like that, but I don't have the spoons to do that. I forget what I'm talking about like so often because of my cognition being so bad, and because of surgical menopause and my health and my pain and migraines and just all this stuff, and ADHD and just everything. But actually, I want to somehow make it work, and I am scared because my cognition is not what it used to be. And so, yeah, thank you for listening. It means a lot. I'm going to tap out because I've completely crashed and burned, and I can't remember what I was saying. I was passionately on a rant, and now it's gone. So I want to apologise. No, sorry, not sorry. Sorry, actually, I take it back. I take the apology back, because this is me. This is who I am. And I've wanted to do a podcast for so long, but this is what stopped me doing it. And actually, fuck it. If I forget what I'm saying, my apologies. I will try and edit it out as best I can, but I can't promise that I will always have the spoons to do that. So this is me. You get what you're given. I hope it's enough. I hope I do the subjects that I talk about justice. And I never used to be like this, you know. Like, I would be such a people pleaser, but surgical menopause has really like tipped me on my ass, and I've really had to just scale back. And being so unwell with my health means I just have to really know where to spend my energy. So thank you so much for listening, and I really appreciate it, because this is a vulnerable thing to do, and I want to talk about the things that we don't talk about enough, and I want to speak on these kind of vulnerable things. And if you want me to talk about anything, please do let me know. And if you want to be part of this podcast, and if you have a story to tell, I'm focusing on lived experiences so that we can sort of share solidarity, through humor, and through, yeah, just anything that helps you cope through the darkness and through these tough times. So if we can laugh together, we can cry together, then it's going to be okay. I hope. Whether it touches like one person and helps one person, that's all that matters. I don't give a shit about numbers, and I really, I genuinely don't. I value what, how many, people I can impact. That's what means, like, so much to me, is to like share my story and help offer a platform for other people to share theirs, in order for us to all just remember that we're not alone, because fuck, life can be lonely, and I am certainly struggling with that myself, which is also partly why I'm starting this now. um I feel like I need to find my voice. I feel like I've sort of, I don't know, I just feel suffocated by life and by trauma and by medical PTSD and health challenges and being, oh, estranged, and just very complicated relationship with my family, and not, and being single at 38, and just, yeah, without kids. There's a lot of things, and within that there's so many stories I have to tell, but most of all I want to have this to be a platform for interesting conversations, and for us to talk about the things that we don't talk about enough, and for people to share their lived experience with us. And so, yeah, this is this podcast, Coping Out Loud. I want to hear the ways that you cope out loud, and I want this to be somewhere that you and we can cope out loud together. So on that cheesy note, I'm going to go because I'm absolutely spangled. But watch this space for the next episodes, because that's what people who have podcasts say, I think. Thank you and good night. Wait, it's 1 p.m. Goodbye.